Hi guys, I'm going to do a quick tutorial for you today on how to create a shadow in Photoshop. So I've got this image and I want to cut it out. I want to put it on a pure white backdrop, which I've got here, and create a nice crisp shadow. So I'm going to start by cutting this out, and I'll probably skip this bit because it's pretty dull, to be honest. So I'll see you in a minute. And just like that, it's cut out. Okay, so now we have a path around the object. I'm just going to hold down Control and the cursor changes and click on that and make selection. Feather it. Okay. So I've got my selection now. I could save that if I want, but I'm not going to. I'll press Command and C just to copy that. Go to my pure white background and Command V will copy it into place. Now I want to get this across a number of photos to be in the same position because I'm going to have a number of these cushions. So I'm actually gonna, I made some guides earlier which I'll probably show you how to do in another video, and I've got them in my actions menu here, so I'm just going to press play and that's the guides for where my object is going to be. And if I just press V now, that takes me into the move mode, or move tool I should say, and then press shift and up and that will move my object. As long as it's selected in the layers palette, you can move it. So that's in the right position now, and what I want to do is create a shadow from this. So I'm going to actually click on it down in the layers palette, right just here. I'm going to click on it and drag it down here to duplicate it, and then I'm going to go image, adjustments, levels. Okay, so I'm directly adjusting this layer now. It is destructive. The only way I can go back is to undo or go into my history palette, but I don't care because I've got a copy below it anyway. So I'm going to just take this little slider here and click on it, drag it all the way over to the right. Excuse me. And then I'm going to click on this little slider here and drag it all the way over to the left and hit OK. And that has actually created just a dark shape and an absolute black shape from my shape. So I've now got that above the layer, but I want that to be the shadow. So I'm going to just, in the layers palette down here, click on that and drag it below. And if I turn that off now, you can see it's directly below. Okay, so now I'm going to just move this into position. You can see with the guides, I actually used the original picture to make these guides, and I just roughly drew the guide there, and that's where I want the shadow to come down to. So this line here is where my shadow is going to come down to. Okay, so I'm on the move tool. I've got the shadow layer highlighted. I'm going to press shift and then just the down key. Great. Get that into position. Perfect. And now the sides look a bit wrong. If you look on the original, it's kind of like they're in a bit, I think, because it's quite high. This is photographed from overhead. So I'm actually going to adjust. I'm going to go edit, and again I've highlighted the shadow layer, edit, transform scale, and I'm just going to scale this down by say 5% just to make it a little bit smaller. You can see here I'm typing the numbers in directly. Now you can just click and drag on this box, but as I want to do this across a number of images, I want it to be repeatable, so I'm actually typing the numbers in, and I'll just hit return. I'll hover over it actually, otherwise it doesn't work, and hit return, and that's scaled it for me. So that looks a bit more realistic on the sides now, I think. Just move it down a touch, but I want to actually make it a bit softer. I want to sort of make it a bit more see-through. So I've gone here and I've gone to opacity, and I'm going to put that down to say 30%. And incidentally, although it doesn't matter on this occasion, it's important if you're doing a shadow and you want to put it over a textured background to make it semi-opaque. Otherwise it's just going to be a solid block of colour. Of course in this case it doesn't matter because I've just got a white background, but you know, if you do want to do that, then that's something to bear in mind. Okay, so I've got my shadow here now. It's looking good. I'm just going to hit Command and semicolon to turn the, or to toggle off the guides. And the final thing I'm going to do, just to make this a bit more finished, is I'm going to create a curves layer like so, and I'm going to hold down Alt which brings the cursor to this state. I'm just going to click in between the curves layer and the layer I want it to affect, and I'm just going to add a little bit more brightness and contrast to that by affecting the curves layer, maybe not quite so much. And that's looking good. So if I turn that off, you can see what that's doing there, that layer, just making it a bit more punchy and a bit more finished. Okay guys, that's all for this week. I will catch you next time. Hope this has been helpful. Look out for more tutorials in the future.